Two. Good evening and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Pine Stars. I think this is the first time we're ever going to do this. It's definitely the first time we've ever had a guest on the show. But I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to let the other guy introduce himself because I see you see our names here. But my name's Brad Bates. I am a UIndy alum. Played for the program until 2002. And currently and forever will hold the record for the highest batting average in College World Series history. Um, Batting 1,000, 1 for 1. So suck it to the rest of you that did not do that. Anytime, Brian. Pick it right up, bud.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate that handoff. That was excellent. Brian Remke, 2000, 2004. Um, no real baseball accolades to speak of. A lot of Pine time, which is why I'm on Pine Stars. Um, really one of the architects behind the growth of the handshake program, as well as the shit talking, which I've gotten some feedback. Really proud of what I've heard. You guys are starting to sling. Really takes us back. So with that, Woody, please welcome to the
All right,
show.
thanks, guys. Thank you. Eric Woodruff, 01 to '06. Enjoyed playing for Coach Vaught so much, I decided to stay for a fifth year. Got the pleasure of spending 1 year with Brad and a couple years with Brian, but I'll drop my one of my sole baseball accolades in my UND time into the episode here in a little bit when we start talking about the upcoming series.
Okay, I thought you were going to talk. Well, and maybe it is that you were kind of UND's Shohei Ohtani. I think is
Well, I mean,
that's what I heard. That's what I
that
heard.
was the
Yeah,
American version, maybe.
yeah. Woody, a real trailblazer, really.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
That's correct.
So this last weekend, they had a 4 game set, and due to weather, they bumped 2 games to Friday, 2 games to Saturday against Missouri S&T. So, Ripke, you want to give us a quick recap of what happened in those 4 games?
yeah. First time in a couple of weeks we had an opponent actually stick around for all four games. And with that, the Hounds went 3-1. Came out Friday, 7-6, 5-1 winners. Won game one on Saturday, 6-4, before dropping the four. So nice weekend all around. But good to see and a nice midweek pickup against Purdue Northwest. So good week.
Yeah. Have you guys, I tell you what, I was able to go out to the game on Saturday and just kind of see some things. And it just, look, we talk about accolades, which all three of us have several.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Reddy probably has more personal accolades than all of us combined, obviously.
Absolutely.
But I really I liked the vibe of the team this weekend. Like just looking in the dugout and just kind of hearing the chatter and just seeing where they were as far as mentality goes. They've had a kind of a rough go of it. I think they'd lost 10 out of 11. And I'll say this. I was talking to Coach Cornwell down the line, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm excited about where this dugout is right now." I said, "I feel good about it," and he said, we had a situation about they were 5-0 starting the year. They coming into game 6 or whatever, and the umpires chirped the Hounds dugout for running their mouth too much. So then coaches had to get on the players about it. So then basically they shut it down. You see what happens. You lose 10 out of 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows baseball is half mental and half shit talking.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, that's really the crux of the game. And when you
right.
lose half your firepower, I mean, what do you do? I
Well,
hate the idea that the game is played between the lines. Not.
I mean, Yogi Berra said that baseball is 90% mental and half physical, right? So
Yeah,
that 90% is coming out of the old chirp hole.
that's exactly right. And for the umps to I mean, talk about overstepping your bounds. I mean, who are these guys?
Get out of my kitchen. Your game's between the lines.
Are they not there to be entertained? Like I would love it. I would love running out to the field and the ump bet. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. And then he'd be like, next inning, he'd sneak me a dip out, William.
This time of year, you got probably average game time temperature of about 45 degrees, rains about half the day. You got 12 guys that aren't getting in the game. They got to do something with themselves to stay engaged. So
That's
I
exactly
believe
Right.
right.
what do
Yeah.
the umps care?
I got shit else to do. March Madness is on. I can't sit and watch it because I'm in the dugout.
Yeah.
This type of shit. When we played Kentucky State and we all went in and watched some of the game in between a rain delay. Um, umpires standing there right next to us, chirping the guys on the court playing. Well, now we're not allowed to turn it around. But anyway,
And is Kentucky State the only team with a third base coach who wore a sleeveless jersey with no sleeves underneath?
I don't know, but I have to assume that's a yes.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, it was like a big what was it, Harold Baines? Was that who it was for the Reds? It was Glenn Bragg. That's who it was,
Glenn
Glenn Bragg.
broke a bat over his own back.
Jesus. Okay,
Or
so they come
possibly
out.
Glenn Allen Hill. Wasn't
Oh,
he
maybe it
another
was
loose
Glenn Allen.
cannon out there?
Yeah, the Reds are known for their sanity.
There's a Norm Charlton, Rob Dibble issue running around somewhere.
They really they really took on the personality of the city. Um, so anyway, they go out this weekend, they get 3 out of 4. And they swung the bat well. And I'll be out, I'll be the first one to say, like, we haven't, and it's not gonna happen today either, because I think he's gonna come out of it. We haven't picked Easton Good as one of our picks to click because the kid's just been on. I mean, he's been getting, either on base or base hits multiple a game. Um, and he hasn't needed a lift. So, but he played this weekend, and I think he was hitless on the weekend. I saw him make probably 3 or 4 plays at short, though. My God, man, he can move. He is quick. He's smooth, and just one of those. He makes one of those backhand plays where before you know it, he's transferred the ball and it's out of his hand, and it hits Ole right in the middle of the chest at first. Just very kid's player, man. He's a good player.
So on a nice play at first when Ole gets the ball, is he not pulling the ball out of his glove and just
Oh, you meant I don't think I told you this. Ole goes up, double, comes sliding into second, pops up, gave the Ole double celly just for you.
oh lay? I love it. Love it.
Brad, you're making a difference.
Well, yeah, that was Brian's call, and that took us a while to get to Ole. We actually went a couple different routes with that nickname, but I tell you what, I was happy to see that. I was happy to see that. And then Don Brown came by at one point and pulled back the old Tampa testicle slingshot and threw that one out there. So nobody can say we're
Uh,
not inspirational.
well, and don't forget the old Millersville mud stomp.
It was the mud punch because it was all the way up to your elbow.
Shit. Yeah, no, you were talking about the weekend and some of the other things. What else besides obviously the biggies, the nice plays in the field, Olay making an
Mhm.
appearance. Love that. What else do you got?
Pitchers threw a lot of strikes, and I think that's a big deal. Obviously, throwing a lot of strikes, but I mean, they were hitting the ball, and especially in that second game. Well, okay, so the second game Saturday, Professor Plym goes out and gets the start coming out of he'd been on the bump or coming out of the bullpen. I'm sorry, previous to that, I think, and so he goes out there and I mean throws this nasty fucking breaking ball on I think it's a 2-2 count to the leadoff hitter, and the hitter crossed the plate, is right-handed hitter, crosses the plate, gets into the left-handed batter's box, and out of the left-handed batter's box, catcher gets up, to throw the ball around, and both of them stop and look at each other like, didn't call that a strike? Umpire's like, nope. He comes back and then, can't find it, whatever, throws one out, wasn't close or whatever. So anyway, now instead of strike three, leadoff hitter, set the tone for the game, he's got a walk, and now you're pissed at the umpire, right? Two hitters later, same exact thing happens. It was ridiculous. And so once that kind of happened, like he still competed. The professor did a nice job of like he stayed smooth and really did a nice job of throwing strikes and letting his defense work. But I mean, that just set the tone for the game. You could tell they got breaks after that, some base hits that kind of leaked through or whatnot that were. Yeah, I mean, you know how it goes. It's a feel game, right? It's a flow game. It's a momentum game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of finding a spark, was there perhaps a nickname last week that got dropped that maybe inspired somebody's play? I don't know.
Is it Ole?
No,
Do you feel like it?
the one you dropped last week, Mike
Where did I
Tyson's
drop it?
punch out. Remember we were doing.
Oh, yeah. Piston Hondras, by the way. Trey Piston Hondras went. I mean, I missed his. I wish I would have been there Friday because, like I said, I sent the team just a little snippet of my pick to click, and he was it. And I was wanting to record it on Thursday, and I just forgot. But had I gotten it in, it would have been huge because I think he had three RBIs and a home run on Friday in one of the games, and then hit a double and all that stuff. But um, yeah, he was going off. Got to say hi to
Well,
him, which was pretty
he went
cool.
he went yard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
a three-run
no,
home run.
4 for 13 on the weekend. Picked up some RBIs, dropped a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I mean, talk about the old piston Honduras uppercut. I think is what happened.
Woody, what do you think about
Uh,
the field and the flow of the game?
Well, won five of the last six. If they had a solid homestand, you know, no midweek games. So everybody should be fresh going into this weekend series at Quincy. So I think got some good momentum heading into kind of final stretch of the season here as we cross into April this weekend.
But do you feel like though what I was talking about of those missed strike calls that happen early in a game, just they affect the flow of the game.
Oh, one big call or one interaction with the umpire can just turn the game right there. Get a little
Yeah.
momentum coming into the dugout. First guy gets on base, turns the whole thing around.
Yeah, and it's a 180 for both teams, right? Now all of a sudden if you benefit from that call, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, fuck it. Let's go. Let's see what we can do. And
Yeah.
then if you're not, then it's like, no, fuck it. What are we gonna do? What's your favorite story about Vaught in that situation? Now I'm just bringing stuff to you right off the top and putting you on the spot.
I might go back. I think I'm going to say this is '03, perhaps. I don't know if you remember when Coach was on the rules committee. This was probably the year after
That still
maybe
astounds me.
there must have been a shortage of eligible people.
That was it was the I still think it's the whole Frank Abagnale situation where like the FBI catch me if you can. They
Yep.
couldn't they couldn't catch him, so they hired him. And I think that's what Vaught's was. That's how he got on the rules committee. He's college baseball's Frank Abagnale.
yeah,
Yeah.
FBI has been doing it for years. You find a hacker and say, "Why don't you come hack for us? We can't
Yeah,
get inside your mind." I think they
absolutely.
literally sat Vaught in the room and be like, "Gary, what would you do in this situation?" And they're like, "We need a new rule."
I'm sorry,
Well,
Woody. Back to 2003.
no, back in '03. I know Brian would have been on this trip down to spring break trip to Florida. Um, Double play. We were in the field. Double play opportunity at second base. Runner slides in, pops up, can't make the throw to first. Coach Vaught out of the dugout. That's obstruction. That's obstruction. Probably said it 6 times walking from the dugout to second base. The call didn't get overturned, but I think he set the tone for the rest of the trip.
Oh, yeah. Oh man. That little gimpy walk coming out on to the foul line.
And I have
Oh,
no idea if we won the game or not, but I know we got hot the rest of that trip.
it was effective.
Now Already would have been in the dugout as an assistant coach at that point.
Well, at that point in the trip, he might have been nursing a hangover.
No comment there.
All right. So let's look ahead at next week. We've got a trip to Quincy. I think it's a 4 game set, right? Are they going, can you tell on the schedule, are they going back to Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. What do we know about Quincy? Do we know anything other than they have the shittiest school colors like that you can, it's brown and yellow.
They are 6-6 in the conference, 13-17 overall. Quincy. Side note: Quincy is known as the Gym City.
That really encapsulates GEM or is it
G
JIM? Is it
G E
Jim?
M.
It is
Well, it's both.
GEM. Oh,
It is GM. I believe they've got a college wood bat league team that plays there at the stadium in the summer
oh,
that
really?
are the gyms. Yeah. Um, yeah, they
The
had
the
good
Gym
weekend
City.
last weekend.
What are they doing? The Gym
I
City
don't know.
Gyms?
I
That's
believe
perfect.
so.
If it's the JIMs,
Yeah.
if it's the GEM City JIMs, that's
The
oh,
did a
UIndy may
little
need
did
to
a
look
little
at
re
a rebranding.
did a little research last weekend. Matt Mateo from the Hawks, uh, 10 hits and 10 RBIs in a 4 game set versus Drury last weekend.
Damn.
Home run, RBI, steals. Looks like he's the. Looks like if you just don't, I'd say pitch around him probably. Yeah,
Rimke,
looks like we should be able to get 3 out of 4 there.
wow, that'd be big. And that would be big, especially like you said, getting later in the season. And that's what I realized. I started looking at the roster or their schedule and shit, and like, hell, we're halfway through the season.
Yep.
hmm
Rimke, what do you think about Quincy? Either favorite memory from Quincy or just if you have any common knowledge of Quincy, like the Gym City Gyms, like the stuff that Woody brought to us today.
Yeah, that's a category with him. I'm not going to compete, so we're going to go in a different direction. Um, I mean, you hit on the important things. It's the worst school colors imaginable,
Oh, yeah.
but they do not own a logo as bad as Marysville.
Oh,
So we're going to give them a little bit more respect.
okay.
And that I mean, they're with brown and yellow, they're polishing a turd, right? So we give them that. But I think they do the best they can with what they got,
Sure.
and
The
that's
Hawks,
all.
right? The
Yeah,
Quincy Hawks.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
But I'm looking ahead. I mean, we'll try and be nice. Maybe we let them get one, like what he said. But I would fully expect them to go on the road this weekend and take the series. Um,
Yep.
I think a lot of momentum on the side, and there's going to be some new nicknames dropped. So you want to talk about momentum going into the weekend?
Can I tell you that I'll I
Did you just
still
give a kiss?
heard I did because I was getting excited because I was going to tell you some good stuff, but then there's also a little disappointment. Okay. First of all, Frankie Clem comes in the game on Saturday
Hmm
and kid competes, man. Left-handed and on the bump, and he's just giving it everything he's got. And we've talked to Coach Reddy and stuff, and he's talked about how much of a vibe guy he is, and he's just a good clubhouse guy. I saw him talking with some of the other pitchers down the bullpen, stuff like that. Like he's just the kind of guy you want on the team and that you need on the team because he really seems to be holding stuff together. And then when he goes out on the bump, like he's doing it through he's leading by example right there too.
Mhm.
Um, but God damn it, they're just still calling him by his first name. And
Hmm.
it's
That's hard to
just
hear.
uh, it's one of I think somebody even called him Frank.
Was his dad in the stands? Like, that can't be right.
I don't know, but if Frankie Clem doesn't start getting full named like Nick Nell, it's going to be
Yeah.
we're just not unlocking his potential. He's doing all this stuff for everybody else. Let some other people do some stuff for him real quick, right?
Absolutely.
Back on.
But I did hear a couple professor calls from the dugout. Heard a couple Professor Plims when he was up on the mound, so I was pretty happy with that. Um, yeah, so you want to get to some nicknames and some picks to click for this week against Quincy?
100%.
Do
All
it.
right. Well, Woody's new to the show, Rimke, so why don't you show us how it's done and give us who your pick
Yeah.
is?
So we've been a little heavy on the position player, so I'm going to go pitcher.
Okay.
And I'm going pitcher who had a hell of a weekend. Um, Big fella went out there and struck out a baker's dozen. Went seven
Damn.
strong, pick up win, love it. So my pick, number 64, Bennett Rogers. And obviously
Big Ben.
we can go a couple of directions with this. Yeah, you could go the Big Ben route. You could use Rogers and go Kenny and go Gambler. We
Ooh,
could. But I think we're gonna go another direction. We're gonna pay a little homage that he's from the North Country. So
Michigan?
we'll north of there.
Oh,
Sorry, what
like
country?
legitimate country. Oh,
Yes,
I thought you
yes.
meant just like,
At least for now.
hey, I'm going
They
out
may
into the
be a state at
country.
some point. Who knows? Right. But yeah, we're
Okay.
going the back to the land of Al.
Where does Al, how
Um,
does Al's just got that in, doesn't he? He got that
well,
native blood.
there's like nine people up there. They all know each other, so it's
They
fine.
got, they got one team, just enough to field a team.
But yeah, so we're gonna go with Bennett Rogers in honor of his number 64. I don't know if anybody this group may be too
Interesting
young.
fact. Interesting fact. School bus that I rode to first grade through sixth grade was number 64, Betty Garrett.
Dynamite drop-ins. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
But in honor of the 6'4", we're gonna go with Bennett Rogers, 64, 6'4" Impala.
Okay. We're staying in the we're staying in the lane.
So now with the 6'4" Impala, now we're going to turn it to a little bit of hip hop. So with hip hop, we're going to go north of the border. Now, there's probably not a guy on this team that knows the song Informer. Boys, we gave you Ghetto Cowboy a couple of weeks ago, got a little more homework. So now you're going to get Informer. Informer was performed by a rapper by the name of Snow. So now for Bennett, we have 6'4" Impala, but I like a little snow call. So I think we're gonna go with snow.
I like it. I like Snow. And he's just like, I don't know. You call him Snow, and if he gets a weird look, like he's 6'4", dude. Just give him a look.
6'8".
6'8"?
Yeah. His
Oh,
number
his number
64.
64.
Yeah.
6'8". Jesus. How tall are you, Woody?
6'2".
You're a big son of a bitch, too. He's 6'8".
Yeah, that's huge.
So
All
yeah.
right, Snow. So
Snow.
your pick to click is like, hey, I just need you to click again.
That's correct. I'm going hot hand, and
Okay,
I'm going hot
you're.
hand, full name. And you
I
can take
like
snow a
that.
bunch of different directions. You can say let it snow.
I'm
It's
gonna
Oh,
I'm
so
gonna
he's out
jump
there,
in
he's
here,
dealing.
Brian. I'm gonna jump in if you don't mind, and just I just pulled up Informer by Snow on YouTube. How many views do you think that video has?
I got to tell
more
you, if it's
more than this
what
show.
For now,
Um, give me 64 million.
Damn, 54 million.
Mm.
What?
Yeah.
That's just YouTube. Don't even get on the Spotify because you
Yeah.
know that's a party banger.
Yeah. This guy
All
looks like an
right.
accountant. I forgot that.
All right. So we got a 6-8 snow coming at you. Woody, let me hear. What do you got for your pick to click this week?
My my pick to click this week is Austin Bestool. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly.
Bestel. Bestel.
Bestel. Bestel. Uh, Leading the team with 11 appearances so far, 27 games. He's already been on the bump 11 times. Already he's running this kid out here like he's Mark Pryor and Al's Dusty Baker in the early 2000s. Be lucky if he throws it, if he can pick up a ball in 2 years. He's 5-1 right now with the save, so strong appearances out of the pen. But the reason I went the reliever route, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the show when I said I'd drop my baseball accolades later. Uh, my senior year trip to Quincy, picked a kid off. That's probably the only pick off I had in my life. Well, inside move to second base. I don't know who was more surprised, the kid on second base or me. That's why I decided to go the reliever route. I think he's going to pick up a win this weekend.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And Bessel's a beast, man. He's a pit bull out there.
Yeah.
Like he's not huge. He's definitely bigger than Nesbitt, but he comes
I got
out
him at
there and
5'9", 190.
yeah, so like anyway, I was gonna say he's like me.
Woody,
Um
do you have a nickname?
I'm going Mark Pryor.
It's just, you just renamed him. That's not a
Yeah.
nickname. You
That's not a
just
nickname.
changed his life.
He just physically changed his name.
Yeah, that's right. I think I was inspired by the Frankie Clem full name.
Yeah. It'll do. Frankie Clem does like he just his effect pushes out to everybody. Like you can't even underestimate it. All right. So Bestel. Yeah, I like Bestel, man. He's a competitor and I thought even when he was I think it was the start of game 2 on Saturday that I saw, he was uh he was right up there, chirping for the prof. And so to see somebody that's coming out there and throwing as much as he is and pitching as well as he has been to be right there cheering the guys on when he's not in is always something you want to see. So my pick to click this week. Um, this kid does not need help playing defense because he can play some defense, but he's struggling a little bit at the plate. Luke Smock, second baseman. Um, he just made a lot of plays I saw on Saturday that he's quick, just getting good first jump. And, I think second base is a position that gets just kind of looked over at times. But when you got a good second baseman that can play it well, that kind of stands out. So then my pick to
Greg,
click, go, oh,
hold
oh,
on.
oh,
Question.
yeah.
So Nick, the last two weekend series,
Who?
and he for Nick, is that who you picked?
Luke Smock.
Oh, I was just say you can't pick on Nick Lukac. Kids on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 game hitting streak.
Yeah. Do you know
Let's
why?
not.
Do you know why? You forgot. He was my first pick to click.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, we're gonna
I
have to talk to
thought.
the producers about this.
Uh,
We do our production meetings on the air. That's all right.
Yeah, he was my first pick to click. We didn't nickname him though because Nick Lukac has so many hard syllables. It's already solid. Like you don't even need anything else.
Yeah.
well, kid's hot, so we'll leave him alone. But if he ever
Yeah,
does want a nickname, just call into
yeah,
the show. We'll get
he
you.
knows where to
We'll get you.
find us. He knows where to
Yeah.
find us. Um, so Luke's fun fact about Luke Smock, his grandpa, Bob Smock, played basketball and baseball at UIndy back in the day, before our time. Um, which is nice to know. But no, I like Luke. I think he's playing a hell of a job in the field, doing a hell of a job in the field, and just like to see him get his back going. I think he got a couple base hits this weekend. But be nice to see him go off and hit some doubles into the gap. Double, 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 uh, into the gap. But anyway, any parting words of wisdom for any of you guys, for either of you guys for the team?
Wait, Luke requests a nickname.
I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm thinking. Luke Smock. Yeah. So that means while I'm thinking, why don't you guys talk about maybe any closing and give me some time to think here?
Oh, okay.
Brian, maybe you want to share your favorite memory of a visit to the Gym City, right on the banks of the mighty Mississippi River.
Oh man, that was, I believe, one of the conference fields where Champ, while playing left field, was making friends on the other side of the left field wall. Um, pretty sure they started to build a rapport. Um, and that kind of became a fixture for Champ, because he made friends over the wall in several fields during the conference tournament, during regionals. He was a man of the people, even though he's in the outfield. What do you look like? You're pulling up some statisticals.
I think I might if I can zero in on this, I might blow your guys' mind here.
I just they have okay, so we've talked about how Nelly's go to they keep calling him champ at the games and stuff like that. Like, okay, that's fine. I'm sure whatever it plays itself. But um to see that there's another champ on the team kind of makes me feel good, you
Mhm.
know? I think they're two totally different people, which is probably a good thing. Um, but
Woody, what rabbit hole did you just fall into?
Yeah. So looking at Luke Smock's grandpa, seeing when he was there, 1969 graduating class. So he must have
yeah,
got there in 65. Do you know what other UIndy legend was on the basketball team about that time?
I knew you would
Who?
have something.
Anyone?
No.
Uh,
Bueller,
Our favorite bartender of all time, none other than Clark Kraft.
Clark.
Clark.
Yes.
You pulled that
But
out of the ether, man.
they're sitting in front of a computer for 12 hours a day, sometimes my mind just wanders.
Oh, you know what? This is hard for me to pass up. So Luke Smock went to Delphi High School, right? Delphi Community High School. Do you know what their mascot is? I'm surprised, Woody, if you don't know
Mm-mm.
this. The Oracles?
I don't.
The
Damn, I did not
Oracles.
know that. How did I not know that?
I don't know. I don't know how I didn't know that. I usually pride myself on that. Um, so the Oracle. Hmm. I'm gonna have to think on it. Um,
We get a Warren Buffett tie-in?
as soon as you said that, I thought you meant Jimmy Buffett. And then I was like, wait a second, he doesn't even really look like Jimmy Buffett, but he kind of does look like Jimmy Buffett. Cheeseburger in paradise, baby. He might be Parrot. He might
What
be
do you,
Parrot.
what do you just follow that path where you were going with the Oracle of Omaha,
The
Warren
Oracle of
Buffett?
Omaha, Warren Buffett. I don't know if I can bring that back around.
Dude, what if
Um,
he was just Warren and he walked around and asked everybody that they've seen his baseball?
I like it. I like it. I like it.
and then he can't take his helmet off.
Warren.
Is this the
Warren.
only podcast ever referenced something about Mary and Clark Crafton in the same episode?
100%. All right. So we got Warren, we got Mark Pryor, and we got Snow heading into the weekend against Quincy. Um, Boys, wishing you the best. Keep playing hard. I really liked what I saw on Saturday. Keep that dugout going and chirping. And I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you guys. The coaching staff, I like this coaching staff. Like they get it. They're cutting up and seeing Cornwell and Devries and some of those guys just I like this team a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Good opportunity to move up one spot in the conference standings this weekend with a strong showing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely get a little separation. But yeah, I'm excited for the guys this weekend. I think they're gonna have a big weekend. They get to visit, is what he called the Gym City and that ballpark. Something to drink in while you're there, certainly.
Pick up a t-shirt, Gym City. All right.
Um, yeah, no, go get them, boys.
Yep. Again, just go out there Friday night, shove it straight up their ass. Give it to them. Good luck, boys. We'll see you next week.
Yep. See you guys.